Hello everyone at the Creative Actions Network. My name is Darren Burton and I'm very excited about getting the opportunity to show you my work and getting to demonstrate why I might be a great addition to your team. To do this, I actually completed one of your campaigns. The campaign was your Recovering the Classics campaign, where you take a selection of classic literature and you redesign the book cover. I did this to sort of demonstrate how I might be able to fit into your team and how I function as an artist and sort of show you my strengths. So let's jump right into that. The first thing I did was pick my book. When I went through your list, it was a no-brainer for me. You guys had A Little Princess, and that was one of my favorite books and movies growing up. So that was easy choice. So I started with character design a little bit. I wanted a little girl with a lot of hair, something very cute, very like a mixture between the two girls who played her, Shirley Temple, and the one from, I can't remember her name, but with the curly light brown hair. But that's where I started. Character design, I would say, is probably my stronger suit. But that's not really the route I went for this. I wanted to show you some of my other strengths. So this is the next page. I was sort of doing child proportions because she starts out very young. Here's a side profile of her. This example here is of her up in the attic. I sort of thought it would be a cool contrast to like the very princessy vibes that a lot of other covers have taken. I also maybe thought of something sort of illustrative with her telling a story to the other children, because she does that quite a bit. She's known for her imagination. And then something with her animal friends, but that looked a little bit too cartoony for me. One that really struck me, however, compositionally, was this one right here, with just a shoe and the rat, with like not a whole lot going on, but that was the one that I sort of decided to go with during my thumbnailing process. So as you can see here, I'm sort of exploring a little bit of the themes that I had chosen. Some different shoe types. The book was written from like 1880 to 1910. It was a long period, so shoe styles changed quite a bit. So I like experimented with a Victorian shoe a couple times, some like tiny little ones from like 1910. But this one here, I sort of played off of for a while, but I really liked this pose. I ended up using this one in the end because it shows both feet, which is what I think I wanted, and it also sort of shows that there's like a regalness to it without having to be in this shoe. I was also practicing the rat because I did want him in the composition. So you can see here, I did a color thumbnail on this one. I picked the princessy route just to see if that's really not what I wanted to do. When I went that route, I found myself wanting to use these pastel colors, which I felt like a lot of people did whenever they did it for you guys. The couple that I'd seen it got through with this book. And I thought, no, that's not the route I want to do. I want to set myself aside, have a different kind of cover. So I started playing with cultural ideas. In Japan, a long time ago, there had been a manga called Princess Sarah, which was based off of A Little Princess. So I wrote the kanji for it because I thought that was kind of funny. And then I also wrote the kanji for just A Little Princess, not Princess Sarah. And then in the book, I was sort of thinking about all the languages she knew, because she knew quite a few. She had lived in India, and so she knew Hindi, so I wrote it out in that language. And then I also did French because she shows up, her French teacher, in the book. And that's just some more text practice. I didn't go with either of those, but I really liked the idea of the cultural aspect to this little girl that a lot of the other kids didn't have. So that's sort of where I went on my next thumbnails, as you can see in this one. I was playing with where the rat should go in the composition, of course, but as you can see in this thumbnail, I had like little girls in this perfect little princessy shoe because they were all, you know, prim proper private school girls. but I put her in a traditional Indian style shoe to sort of show that she was somebody who stood out. And that's the route that I took from there. I really liked that idea, but I still liked her being the only person in the composition with, besides the rat, to sort of show a contrast between her, like, regal sort of way of being with this side of danger that is the rat. So, we can see I was basically just placing the rat in the composition in these, sort of seeing where he would work best. You can see some more character work here in this one that doesn't go with this. I have quite the habit of just sketching in the margins. And then I sort of went into the final one. You can also see on this I took some color inspiration from Kit Kat. When I think of Indian culture, I think of a lot of warmth. When I think of their food, I think of heat, I think of warm tones, but I also wanted to think about the Victorian era that I believe this was meant to take place in, and all of that has this sort of demure to it, and so I chose to do a lot of warmth, but with purples, because the purple should contrast well with a red, and so that's sort of what I played with in my final piece, was I had a lot of the warm, I had some gold ink in here, and red jeweling and threading on the shoes, yellow wallpaper, in the rug, more warm tones and gold, with the dress and the rug being purple. With the floor, I tried to make sure that the rat and the floor weren't the same color, because that was something I found in that one color thumbnail was a bother to me. So the rat has a lot of pink on him. I'm not sure if that can translate well on this camera, but and the floor is more earthy than the red brown. Yeah, so that was me completing one of your guys' projects. I would love to do more. I think working with you guys would be a great growing experience for not only myself, but with the company, sort of exploring these new ideas, cultural ideas. And then I thought, because this isn't what I do all the time, I would show you just a couple pieces that I completed this past week of character design. So here is this one here of just a dynamic pose on this character with some foreshortening to sort of show you that I can complete that kind of work. And this is in the same series. It doesn't have that kind of dynamic foreshortening, but you can see that I have like the abilities for people above most else. Thank you guys for this opportunity. I hope you guys get back to me. Thank you very much.